We've already done the concepts of the nodal analysis and the mesh analysis. We know how we can solve circuits or analyze circuits using that. So now it's a perfect time to move on to another principle which is called superposition. So something to know before I move on to into what superposition actually is called linearity. Superposition can only be applied on circuits if they are linear. So what's a linear circuit? So basically, linearity is related to the Ohm's law. As I have already mentioned before, Ohm's law is V is equal to IR, and this is derived from the fact that V is directly proportional to I. What this means is that if there's a resistor and I have a current through it and a voltage across it, and if I increase the current, my voltage would also increase linearly. So this means that voltage and current are directly proportional. So all elements that have such a kind of a graph, they're called linear elements. So the resistors are not the only linear elements we have studied. Until now, all the dependent sources that we have encountered, so they have also been linear. They have been in the form of 4Vx or 2Ix, etc. Never have we seen a source with a value of 2Ix squared, because this is not linear. So we are dealing with linear circuits, and hence superposition would can be applied on all of them. So now let's see what superposition actually is. So what superposition actually states is that the algebraic sum of responses due to each independent source in a circuit would be the actual response of the circuit. Now, what is the response? The response can be anything. It can be the current in a wire, it can be the voltage across 2 points, anything in the circuit, any value in the circuit, that's the response. So I won't actually go into the proof of this because that would be a little useless and complicated in my opinion, but I'll just use an example to demonstrate how you can use this. Okay, so before I move into the example, one thing to remember is that whenever you replace a source, there are two kinds of independent sources. There's the independent voltage source and there is the independent current source. So the independent voltage source's main characteristic is that the voltage, whatever it is, it can be 1 volt, it can be 0 volt too, there would be a current flowing through. So when I look at the 0 volt, you always need to remember that whenever you are replacing a voltage source in a circuit, you would always do it with a short circuit. A short circuit is just a wire with no source in this. So this is a short circuit. So in the case of the current source, it's the total opposite, because the current source would have a can have a value of 0 amps and still have a voltage difference across this. So whenever you replace a current source, you would always do it with an open circuit. So this is something you need to remember, that whenever you are replacing the voltage source, do it with a short circuit, and whenever you are replacing a current source, do it with an open circuit. So now let's move on to our example. Alright, so for instance, I have this circuit and I need to find the current going through the 9 ohms resistor in the downward direction, and I will be using the superposition principle. So what I need to do is there are two independent sources. There's the 2 amps current source and there's a 3 volt voltage source. So what I need to do is I need to find Ix due to each source. So first I'll just use this voltage source and I redraw the circuit, and this will be my voltage source, and there's the resistor, and there is the 9 ohms resistor, and now the current source. So I'm removing the current source from the circuit because I'm just considering the voltage source right now. So as I mentioned in the previous slide, that the current source is always replaced with an open circuit. So this is the current source. So these are just null wires and there's no current here, so I can just remove them, and this current would be called, I'll just call it Ix3V, which means the Ix due to the 3 volt source. So I'll just calculate this using simple KVL. So I can just start the KVL from here. There's the -3, and then I can write plus and 6 Ix3V, which is the current flowing through the circuit, because there is no other direction for the current to go. And then there's the 9 ohms resistor and Ix3V. So the entire circuit has clearly changed due to the removal of the current source. So I can just solve this now and get an answer of Ix3V is equal to 3, and Ix due to the 3 volt source would be 1 divided by 5 amps. So this is my first value, and now I need to redraw the circuit again to find the Ix due to the 2 amp source. So I'll just redraw it again now. So when I'm redrawing the circuit again, I'll just redraw the part where the current source is. So this is the 3 amp current source, and now comes the part of the voltage source. So now I'm removing the voltage source because I'm only considering the current source. So when you remove the voltage source, you do it with a short circuit. So I'll just redraw a short circuit here, and this is my circuit, and this current now is Ix 2 amps, which is the Ix due to the 2 amps current source. So I need to solve the circuit for the Ix, and I can just apply a super mesh analysis, and I'll just do it now. And clearly there is a current source on the periphery, so I2 is equal to minus 3 amps because this is in the opposite direction of I2. And then I can apply a KVL on mesh 1, and 6I1 plus 9I1 minus I2, this is equal to 0. And now I'll just solve this, and I get a value of I1 which is minus 27 by 15, and clearly Ix 2 amps is equal to I1 minus I2. So I'll just do it, divide minus 3, and this gives me a value of 1.2 amps. So this is the Ix 2 amps, and this is my Ix 3 volts. So these are the two responses due to the independent sources. So to get the actual Ix, I'll just add these two up. So that would be plus 1 over 5, and this gives me a value of 1.4 amps. So this is the answer of this problem. So what I did was I just considered one independent source at a time, and I removed the other one. When I'm removing the current source, I do it with an open circuit, and when I'm removing a voltage source, I do it with a short circuit. And then I just solve the circuit for Ix 2 amps, and Ix 3 volts respectively, and I added them up to get the actual response. So this is what superposition is. You just consider one independent source at a time and then solve the circuit. And this sometimes makes the circuit much easier and simpler to solve because you have less sources to deal with and less branches to deal with. And this is why superposition principle is pretty important. In the next video, I'll show another example of the application of the superposition principle.